Good morning and welcome. Thank you very much for coming here. We have Ian Adams. Just to say something.
Good day, boss.
We
Great to
have
be
Julie
here.
Adams.
Yep.
And we have Bronwyn Hill here.
Good morning.
So just as part of Open Colleges, what they will do is they'll use this assessment for their own purposes, which means that they can use this video recording file for their own purposes in training, best practices. It becomes their property once I've submitted it into the portal, and they can use it for all different kind of purposes. So do you consent to that, Ian?
Yes, I do.
Julie?
Yes.
Bronwyn. Okay, thank you. All right, without further ado, we'll get into it.
Sounds great, boss.
Good morning. Thank you very much for coming in here this Sunday. I'm so sorry that we've had to call in such an urgent meeting, but we do have some pressing matters that we need to talk about. So thank you very much for coming. In attendance at our meeting right now, we have Ian, our head of HR. We have
Morning.
Julie as our waitress,
Yes.
and we also have representing is the cashier, Bronwyn Hill.
Good morning.
Okay, so as you all know, we've had some issues and some concerns that are needing to be addressed, and we're going to talk through some of those now. But the most important one is the in 1 week time, 7 days, we have Silver Ocean Cruise coming in, which is causing some levels of concern for our restaurant, especially in terms of facilitating a 20% increase.
Mm-hmm.
So, what we're going to do now is I want your input into some of the roles and the responsibilities that are going to need to change. So, our idea of facilitating and accommodating this increase is to transition from our old menu to a new buffet menu. So that's transitioning to a buffet menu.
Buffet menu, that's going to bring in some of its own generic issues, isn't it?
It is, and coming from the HR department, you're going to realise there's going to be some paperwork changes as well.
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, so before we move on to any other issues, let's go through what's going to need to change for our transition to the buffet menu. So the roles the purpose of the waitresses and that is the same. It's just to transition to serve an excellent customer service quality for our buffet menu. So that's the purpose. The purpose is to facilitate the buffet menu.
Okay.
Roles and responsibilities.
Just from my perspective that I can see going through from our cashier through our waitresses, from our point of start at the moment, we have our cashier who hasn't in the past had to worry about presenting drink menus or anything, but rather just wantedly just take cash. Now I think the role there has to change with respect to that we need our customers to be full of liquid rather than our food, so that we can maximise our profits. So now the cashier's role will need to, as they're taking the sale, that to sell
Drinks
at the point of sale, and then our waitresses can then keep the water vases, jars full on the table, as well as a continual encouragement to the customer to purchase our drinks, so that we can.
Yeah.
So that'd be one role our cashier will need to change.
And which means I will have to make sure to monitor the level of drinks that are left
On the table,
as well as the food.
Yes.
Sure, that's right. And I would suggest also that the cashier's roles are going to change in that prices will be different, because it's not one set menu.
Yep.
It's going to be the buffet menu with any drinks that they purchase. So I'm just going to jump in here and switch to another one, which was our lack of innovation with our software management. This has been an area of concern, but in process right now, we have the management coming through for funds to get new software. This new software is going to take in the seat allocations, the booking. So you're going to be needing new skills in how to use this software as well.
So when are we going to train them to do that? We've got 7 days. When is this being?
This new software will hopefully be approved by this Thursday. So you'll need to be briefed on the new software. You've got about 3 days before we transition.
So your availability will need to be so we can train you.
Okay, and if maybe we'll just organise for you to come in 30 minutes earlier so we can show you the new system once that's being organised.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so back to our roles and responsibilities. So that's the cashier. We'll just quickly go through. Obviously, the waitress is going to need to change. What would be your input into roles?
I can see two varying roles there that have to change. Is one, we will need to have our most experienced waiter, our head waiter, monitoring the levels of food that is being consumed, and to ensure our health and safety obligations are discharged by keeping the food warm, turned, presented well. So that would be a role of the head waiter to look after that. If we leave it for everyone to do, we're going to get misorders, miscommunications. So that'll need to be the role of the head waiter. And while she's at the table, she can also be monitoring the drinks and the other waiters to make sure that all the tables are being cleaned. Because again, now we're having the customers grab their own plates, grab their own utensils, and we'll have dirty plates on the table that before we've only had to go to the table once, now we'll have to go to the table perhaps multiple times. So the head waiter's role will be very critical to ensure the performance of the rest of the staff in the actual restaurant.
Yes, absolutely. So it's going to be different for the waitresses. You're going to need to learn some new skills as well, because you're going to be having a different looking out for the customer in a different way with the buffet menu.
Definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
So you will need to ensure that you talk to your staff about that. Perhaps slight change of our procedures, and I'll help you with that.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to monitor those buffet levels as well as the work health and safety of the food itself, and clearing away dishes constantly.
And spills when people are getting their dishes. They've
Yes.
just the presentation
As
around
usual.
the food. Yeah. No worries.
As usual. Excellent. So that's our purpose, is to transition to the buffet menu. Those are some of those roles and responsibilities. Now, to help our team meet those the expected performance outcomes, what I will do is I will adopt our previous roles and responsibilities and have this uploaded into the intranet. So that way you know what's expected, and you can read through those roles and responsibilities to ensure that when we do transition, you know. And I want you to know also that I'm always going to be here. You've got your managers, your supervisors, and upline people to constantly help you transition.
If you'd like, what I can do is I can arrange a meeting with your staff as a HR, and just to present to them the changes that you make to ensure that they're all on board with it.
Okay.
That would be
Sounds
excellent.
good. Yeah.
Okay, I'll note that as a an action for you to follow up on.
For me to follow up on, yes.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now, throughout this transition, obviously it's new. And what we're doing as management is we really want your input into our decision-making processes. So to make this a success on behalf of our company and on Le Prestige Hotel, we want your feedback into how this is going to really work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you a piece of paper here. And on this is some questions on your feedback on how we can make this a success, and if there's anything that needs to change, and your input. If I'm going to collect this from you tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, while you're on your shifts, maybe at the end of the shift, I'll collect that from you just to start working on some feedback processes.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, we appreciate and we value your input into the decision making of our team. Other things that were raised, specifically from you and from the HR department, is that there's a lack of communication between some of the team members.
Okay.
Right now, I've drafted some good teamwork principles and some communication principles. That's actually going to be a part of our policies and procedures. And I'm going to make this available to you. And we're going to support each other and to help each other and to regularly being reminded to communicate to each other.
That sounds good. Again, when you can present that to your staff, and I'll retouch on that when I do the presentation of the other expectations. So we'll incorporate that into the meeting as well, and that way everybody's can have they can read it, they can have their thoughts and ideas on it, and they can present that back to me at the meeting.
Okay.
Fantastic. Okay, I just want to take a moment now to encourage you to take responsibility for your own work. It's going to be different, it's going to be new skills, but I want you to do your best. Okay, we need each person here as part of the team to take on their own. Obviously, with such a transition happening, we can't have you thinking of other things while you're at work. When you're at work, I want you to be here, to be focused, be concentrated, take responsibility for your own work.
Understand.
Also, as such, because there's going to be new skills needed, I want you to help whenever there's possible and wherever time permits to assist other fellow colleagues in the workplace. So if they're not too sure about what's happening, assist them to meet and to make things running smoothly. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
Excellent.
Will do.
Okay, because it is new, we're going to need to identify and resolve potential problems that come up. So I want to say first and foremost that everyone is responsible. It's not just the manager's position to look out for problems that arise, it's everybody's responsibility. Now, obviously, the manager and your supervisor will be there to support you and to help you recognize those using things such as our hierarchy of control and our risk management processes. Okay, so it's a new action plan. So there's going to be new risks and there's going to be new potential things that could come up.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes. Yep.
Excellent. So we really value and appreciate all of your feedback here. We want you to keep giving us feedback on how things are going, as well as not just before, but even during the transition and during the buffet, because it's new things. So always we want your feedback. We have an open door policy. We want you to just come up to your manager if you think something could be done better, if you've got a new creative way of doing something. Excellent. Is there any questions so far at this point?
No.
Any questions so far? So you understand that we're transitioning to the new buffet menu. The communication issues, we're going to be having some new policies and procedures, some guidelines, and also we're getting that new technology in place to take the bookings and seat allocations. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I don't want to hold you up too much longer. It is your Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning, and I'm really sorry to have had you come in. But I want you to know that we're all here. We all want your help. It's part of a teamwork environment, and I really believe that we can make this a success on behalf of our hotel, and to make this the best buffet menu in our area here in Sydney.
Yes.
Well done.
That's our vision.
Yeah.
We can do it.
I reckon we can do it.
Of course we can.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in. Look to your managers. Your managers will be there. They'll be showing the example, and we just want to provide excellent quality customer service.
Yes. Yeah. Thank
Alright.
you.
Thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate your time, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.